One of the big debates in football right now is revolving around 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy and how good is he? Because just as recently we saw Chris Sims ranked him at 17, said that the 49ers would have won the Super Bowl if Jordan Love was their quarterback. So Brock Purdy finds himself in the middle of this conversation consistently. And so this isn't anything new to us. So what happens, unfortunately, though, is we are gathering opinions from football minds. And this conversation I really do like because it's between Robert Griffin III, who played quarterback not only at a high level in college, but in the NFL before injuries kind of took a toll on his career, and Ed McCaffrey. Ed McCaffrey's won Super Bowls. He's played with the 49ers. He's played with Steve Young, John Elway. He's played with some of the better quarterbacks to ever play this game. Also coached by some of the best coaches to ever coach this game. So these are the kinds of conversations that I like to perk up and I like to listen to really see what these perspectives are. And when Ed McCaffrey was asked about if he believes Brock Purdy is a franchise quarterback, well, if you are on the side of believing that he is a franchise quarterback, you're going to love his answer. So take a listen as Ed McCaffrey and RG3 go back and forth about why Brock Purdy is a franchise quarterback, and the 49ers got a good one.
Do you believe Brock Purdy is a franchise quarterback?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's going to be playing for the 49ers for a long, long time. And yeah, and the thing he shows is anticipation,
Yep.
which is it's hard to see that until you get into an NFL game, right? Because I mean, you can watch players throw in 7-on-7 and in practice, but you get into an NFL game and it's the fastest the game's ever been played. And so It's like if we want to compare it to a video game, if you're playing on 6 or 7 or 8, if you play for a great team in a great conference in college, you got to put it up to 10 or maybe 11, right? And now that's the NFL game. And not everybody can make that leap. And a lot of it for a quarterback is it's like football IQ. And that seems so general, but it's like, hey, you have to be able to react to the speed and quickness of the game, all of the different looks, because this is all these guys do. They spend all day long trying to deceive you in the secondary. Guys working all day long to get to you and defeat offensive linemen, to sack you in the backfield. And then the concepts are so much more complicated than in college, right? And so your ability to process and anticipate and react, I don't think you can fully tell that until a quarterback gets in an NFL game. And then you start to see it. And some players are better NFL players than college players because they have that skill set that lends itself to the NFL game. And others, aren't as good as maybe it's what they were in college. So I think Brock has that. I think he has intelligence. He's more mobile than what you would think. And I think that was noticeable last season. He got out a lot of pressures, rolled left, rolled right, stepped up in the pocket, kept his eyes downfield, threw with anticipation, goes through his progression quickly. And you know about progressions, right? It's not, you don't always go 1 to 2 to 3. Sometimes there's field progressions. It's like you got to eliminate half the field right away. Sometimes you can already tell 1 and 2 aren't there, so you go right to 3, even if you're looking off. But you can't just, sometimes you go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's too late, right? You're sacked. So his ability to process, I'd say that's true for every position, by the way, but especially for quarterback. Your ability to process what's going on, anticipate and react quickly. And also at quarterback in today's game, you got to be a little mobile. And in addition to having the arm strength and throwing with accuracy, I think he's got all those intangibles.
Yeah, I think he does too. And I'll say 2 things. So Monday Night Countdown, when I believe it was Garoppolo went down and Purdy was going to start for the very first time 2 years ago. I like to drop facts on these shows, Ed. I'm not a hot take guy. I just like to talk about the game and have a good time. So I knew Brock from his time at Iowa State. I knew he was a mobile guy, could get it all done. The only knock against him was, well, he doesn't have a Matthew Stafford arm, who how many guys do, right? And then he's a little shorter. So those 2 things were the knocks against him, why he didn't go as high in the draft as he probably could have based off of his ability to process. But I knew that this was coming as far as his moxie, his ability to extend plays. But then I saw a stat, because I'm a full believer that he's a franchise QB. I just want to know your opinion because I respect what you've done in the league and obviously your football acumen. But this guy had a 99.9 passing grade on balls targeted 20 or more yards down the field, which me and you both know that's unheard of. That's nearly perfect. 30 of 53 for 956 yards and 11 touchdowns and only 1 interception. And that's not just go balls, right? You're talking about the backside dig that I think we had one last year where Ayuk took it from like a 16-yard in and turned it into almost like a 22 to 23-yard in because Brock threw him to open space. You don't really see that. And that's not a skill that you can necessarily find on tape in a college game. Brock's adjusted so well to the pro game, and I'm glad he's got a guy like your son and Christian McCaffrey to kind of help open things up for him as well.
So you could see without any hesitation, Ed was full on like, yeah, absolutely. Brock Purdy is the franchise quarterback. The 49ers got their guy, and he went on to explain why and how Brock Purdy has found success in the NFL and also was able to pinpoint why a lot of guys don't have success in the NFL. And it's hilarious how that is consistently somehow used against him when it comes to discussing how a quarterback is better than the other, right? Because it seems within the casual talking space, you're only a good quarterback if you have elite physical traits. And this is just something that we've seen so often where we have quarterbacks who have elite physical traits, but they just suck. They're not good football players. They don't understand the game at the level and at the speed that it needs to be played at. Just because you can throw the ball far doesn't mean you're any good at football. So I do think that Ed does a really good job of kind of eloquently discussing that. And again, it's hilarious because having the ability to process, having the ability to anticipate, having the ability to lead others and play that position in some of the most adverse situations somehow is trumped by physical ability to throw the football. Yes, that matters. Being able to throw the football matters and how well you throw it. But if that's all you can do, you are not an NFL quarterback. So that's why I find this conversation fascinating. It obviously goes both ways. If you can't throw the football, then yes, you're not an NFL quarterback either. But I would really make the case, and I would really make the argument that the way that Brock Purdy wins and how he wins is more difficult than just being a freak athlete who just relies on natural God-given ability to get things done. He really studies the game at the highest level, and as a result, his mind processes faster than the average NFL quarterback. So that's somehow used as a talking point against him. It's like, oh yeah, well, he can do this, but that's not how we really judge quarterbacks. Well, it should be. That should exactly be how we judge quarterbacks. It's how I judge quarterbacks. It's how I evaluate quarterbacks. Anyone can see a guy who can throw far, fast, with zip, with accuracy. We can all see that. But that is not what makes a great quarterback. What makes a great quarterback are the intangible elements and being able to bring it all together. And Brock Purdy has clearly done that, but that doesn't change the fact that some still think he's not that good of a quarterback. Chris Sims thinks he's the 17th best quarterback in the league, which, hey, to each their own. But I disagree on that one. But I thought this was a really good little nugget from Ed McCaffrey as he was kind of talking about Christian McCaffrey as well. So if you want to go watch that full episode, I'll link it in the description below. Let me know what you guys think about this. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.